On a quiet street in a small coastal town, there lived a man named Daniel Moore. Daniel was not famous. He was not rich, and most people did not notice him at all. Every morning at exactly 7:30, Daniel left his apartment, walked down the same street, and sat on the same bench near the bus stop. He wore simple clothes, carried a small bag, and always held a book he rarely read. What made Daniel different was not how he looked, it was what he did. Daniel spoke to strangers. Not in a strange or uncomfortable way, not with questions that felt too personal. He simply said things like, "Good morning, I hope today is kind to you." Or, "That's a nice jacket, it suits you." Most people were surprised. Some smiled and said thank you. Some nodded politely. Some ignored him completely. Daniel did not mind. He worked as a cleaner in a nearby hospital. His job was quiet, invisible, and often thankless. But Daniel believed something deeply. Everyone carries a story, even if no one listens. One Monday morning, a young woman named Emma sat at the bus stop. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, shoulders heavy, hands shaking slightly as she held her phone. Daniel noticed her immediately. "Good morning," he said gently. Emma didn't respond. Daniel waited a second, then added, "I hope your day gets easier." Emma looked up, surprised. "Thank you," she said quietly. The bus arrived. They got on and sat a few seats apart. That evening, Emma sat alone in her apartment and thought about that moment. No one had said anything kind to her in weeks. Emma worked in a high-pressure marketing company. Long hours, endless deadlines, constant fear of losing her job. That morning, she had been thinking about quitting everything. But a stranger's words stayed with her. "I hope your day gets easier." The next day, she saw Daniel again. This time, she smiled first. "Good morning," she said. Daniel smiled back. Over the next few weeks, they spoke briefly each morning. Nothing deep, just small human moments. "How's the weather treating you? Busy day ahead? Take care." They never exchanged phone numbers. They never met outside the bus stop. But something slowly changed. Emma started feeling lighter. Meanwhile, Daniel continued speaking to strangers. One day, an old man named Richard sat on the bench instead of Daniel's usual spot. Richard was recently retired and felt completely lost. His days felt empty, his house too quiet. Daniel sat beside him. "Retirement treating you well?" Daniel asked with a smile. Richard laughed bitterly. "Feels like I stopped existing." Daniel nodded. "I felt that way once too." Richard looked at him. "What helped?" Daniel thought for a moment. Realizing that being useful doesn't always come with a paycheck. That sentence stayed with Richard. 2 months later, Richard started volunteering at a local library, reading stories to children. Then there was Maria, a single mother who waited for the bus every evening after her long shift at a restaurant. She was always tired, always worried. One night, Daniel said, "You're doing a good job, even on the days you don't feel like it." Maria's eyes filled with tears. "You don't even know me," she said. Daniel replied softly, "I don't need to." Life continued like this. Strangers came, strangers went. Some mornings no one talked. Some mornings conversations lasted seconds. Daniel never tried to change anyone's life. He just showed up. But one winter morning, Daniel didn't come. Emma waited. The bus arrived. No Daniel. The next day, still no Daniel. A week passed. Emma felt strangely worried. She asked around. No one knew him well. He was just that kind man at the bus stop. One evening, Emma noticed a small paper taped to the bench. It read, "If you are reading this, thank you for sitting here. Please remember, someone once noticed you. Now pass it on." Emma felt a lump in her throat. Days later, she saw a news post online. A cleaner named Daniel Moore had collapsed at work and passed away quietly. No family nearby, no big ceremony. Just a simple notice. Emma cried that night, for a man she barely knew. But something beautiful happened after that. The next morning, Emma sat on the bench. A young man stood nearby, nervously checking his watch. Emma looked at him and said, "Good morning. I hope your day goes well." The man smiled, surprised. Thank you. I really needed that. Soon others started doing the same. A teacher, a delivery driver, a student. Small words, small kindnesses. The bench became something more. People talked, listened, smiled. Months later, a small sign appeared near the bus stop. The stranger's bench. Sit, speak, be kind. No one knew who put it there. Years passed. Emma eventually changed her career. She became a counselor, helping people who felt invisible. On her desk, she kept a small note framed in glass. It read, "You don't have to save the world. You just have to notice it." Daniel never knew the impact he had. But maybe that's the point. Some people change lives loudly. Others do it quietly, one stranger at a time.